Hey there, it's Guy here. Great that you found this video. It's very nice to have you here. This is a series in which I'm essentially trying to give away all my knowledge about UX design. I've been working in the industry for 10 years now, over 10 years now, had different jobs and big companies like Google, smaller startups after that. I've done design, product, some engineering. And I just feel like there's a need for like a very real unfiltered account for what it really is to be a designer at a startup in 2024 and how we can actually succeed at it. This is going to be like a very simple format in which I'm just basically sitting here in my cozy home office and speaking to the camera and showing you stuff on my computer over there. In this video series, I am going to be focusing a lot on the utility aspect of software, on how to make better tools essentially, which means that this is going to be more relevant for people interested in working in SaaS software and enterprise tools, etc., and not so much on the visual design aspects that typically are relevant, or more relevant at least, in consumer apps. I'm going to start this series by addressing some myths about the UX design job and stuff people say. And myth number one is that you need to have formal design education in order to be a good designer. You need to go to design school. And that isn't my impression about the job at all. And as a matter of fact, I rather have the impression that people that go to design school have a hard time transitioning into the designer role at a startup because there are some things they actually need to unlearn. And one of those things is that most of the design work at a startup isn't really that innovative. Isn't really about inventing new things, pushing the frontier of product design or of technology or whatnot. It's much more about looking around, seeing what other products exist in the field you're designing for, and understanding which patterns are there and trying to, within the existing patterns, design the thing you want. So it's much more of a research and consensus kind of job than it is to really invent something new. Now, myth number two is that designing at a startup is a very collaborative experience, mostly like whiteboards and post-its and whatnot. And that's not reality. I think those moments exist in some startups, although remote work has really taken some is really common these days, and as such those things don't really exist, but I think good design is hard work, and is usually hard work done by one individual sitting on their desk and just going iteration after iteration, throwing away stuff they don't like and trying again until it reaches a certain bar. So if you come with that kind of expectation that design is going to be a very social, very interactive job, I think you will be disappointed. As a third and last myth, I wanted to say that some people come with the expectation that designers sort of like own the way the product looks and to a certain extent even works from end to end. That's kind of like design is how it works. I think that's what Steve Jobs said, that or something like that. And although that's another romantic idea that I like, I don't think that accurately describes how reality is at a startup. I think in the end, a startup is a cross-functional environment in which you as a designer are asked to essentially balance different aspects, from business goals to implementation complexity from the engineering side to maybe just how it looks, which might be like a pure design input, and many other things. And in the end, the actual best design you could suggest is not the most innovative, is not the one you like the most, it's not the one you would suggest if you'd be alone in the room. It's kind of like a mix of all of these aspects. And I think another way to put that is to say, maybe in a not so romantic way, that developing software in 2024 is a lot like an assembly line, I guess, 100 years ago. It's a bunch of different people with different specialized skills adding their part of the puzzle, kind of. And I think as a designer, you need to understand that you are sort of like inheriting some instructions from somebody, usually maybe some senior management, some product manager, like who knows, depends on the structure. You're going to do your work, prepare your design, and then you're going to kind of like pass it forward to somebody to most likely implement it. And this kind of step-by-step sequential work, like an assembly line, is kind of like the heartbeat of the startup. And as such, a big part of your job, a big part of what you're concerned about is making sure the pace is right. So you need to deliver enough design, fast enough, at good enough quality. So it doesn't help if you over-deliver on the quality if you're going to make it very slow. And that's an important aspect, I think, to understand, de-romanticize a little bit the job. And in order to do that, I think it's important to understand what good design is in this context and how to really go about creating good designs and good products. And that's what I want to focus on next, and really show you, like, hands-on. If you'd get some sort of design assignment today, like you need to design a product, how would you actually do it? Not like in theory and kind of like frameworks and concepts, but really like on the computer. How do you design something that actually is in line with what I just said, and that will help you succeed as a designer, professional designer at a startup. That's what I'm going to do next. But for now, I hope this myth busting was useful, and I'll hope to see you again later. Bye.